Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that time is not a straight line, but a door? A door that some people may have already walked through. For centuries, humans have dreamed of traveling through time. We imagine visiting the past, witnessing history, or jumping into the future to see what lies ahead. Scientists debate it, philosophers question it, but across the world, there are stories that refuse to fade. Stories of people who appeared out of nowhere, who knew too much, or who vanished without explanation. Tonight, I will share with you 10 shocking stories of alleged time travelers that will truly leave you speechless. Story 1. In 1896, newspapers across the United States reported sightings of a mysterious man piloting a strange airship, years before airplanes officially existed. Witnesses described advanced technology far beyond that era. Who was he, and where did he come from? Story 2. In 1950, a confused man appeared in Tokyo wearing unfamiliar clothing and carrying a passport from a country called Taured, a nation that doesn't exist. Officials investigated, but the man vanished overnight from a locked room. No explanation was ever found. Story 3. A photograph from a 1940s shows a man wearing sunglasses, a printed t-shirt, and holding what looks like a modern camera, decades before such items were common. Was he simply ahead of fashion, or something more? Story 4. Rudolph Fentz, a man reportedly struck by a car in 1950 New York, was dressed in 19th century clothing. Items in his pockets dated back nearly 70 years. Records suggested he vanished mysteriously in 1876. Story 5. In 2003, a man named Andrew Carlssin allegedly claimed to be from the future after making impossibly accurate stock market trades. He predicted market crashes and earned millions, until authorities questioned him. Soon after, he disappeared. Story 6. Ancient texts from India describe flying machines called Vimanas with advanced weapons and propulsion systems. Were these myths or memories of technology far beyond their time? Story 7. A video from a 1928 Charlie Chaplin film premiere shows a woman appearing to talk on a mobile phone. But mobile phones wouldn't exist for another 50 years. So what was she holding? Story 8. Some claim that John Titor, an online poster from the early 2000s, was a real-time traveler from the year 2036. He made detailed predictions about technology and global events, some uncannily accurate, others not. Story 9. Archaeologists have found ancient artifacts that seem too advanced for their time. Perfectly machined objects, complex gears, and technology that challenges historical timelines. Story 10. Finally, there are ordinary people who claim to have experienced time slips, walking into a familiar place and suddenly finding themselves in another era, only to return moments later. Are these stories hoaxes, misunderstandings, or glimpses into something science has yet to explain? Time travel may sound impossible today, but remember, there was a time when flying, electricity, and space travel were also considered impossible. So the real question isn't, is time travel real? The question is, what if it already is, and we just don't understand it yet? Time travel has been one of the most powerful and enduring ideas in human history, appearing long before modern science ever attempted to explain it. Ancient civilizations imagined gods and heroes who could move through time, change fate, or witness the beginning and end of the world. Mythologies from India, Greece, and Norse cultures contain stories where time behaves differently, flowing faster or slower depending on the realm or the being involved. As human knowledge advanced, this fascination evolved from myths into philosophical questions and scientific curiosity. During the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, scholars and thinkers debated the nature of time itself, whether it was absolute, circular, or something humans could one day control. With the arrival of the Industrial Revolution and rapid technological growth, the idea of time travel shifted from fantasy to speculation. Writers like H.G. Wells popularized the concept through science fiction, making people wonder whether machines could bend time the same way machines had transformed the physical world. In the modern era, physics has added even more fuel to this fascination. Theories such as relativity suggest that time is not fixed and can be affected by speed and gravity, opening the door to serious discussions about time travel. Scientists, researchers, and futurists continue to explore wormholes, black holes, and quantum mechanics in an effort to understand whether moving through time could ever be possible. At the same time, unexplained stories, mysterious photographs, and historical anomalies keep the public imagination alive, making time travel not just a scientific question, but a deeply human obsession rooted in our desire to understand the past and control the future throughout history. There have been numerous reports of advanced technology appearing in eras where such inventions should not have existed. These sightings challenge our understanding of technological progress and raise questions about whether knowledge can emerge out of sequence. Long before the Wright brothers' first flight, people reported seeing mysterious flying machines in the skies. In the late 1800s, newspapers described strange airships with lights, engines, and human pilots, technology that officially would not be developed for decades. Witnesses often claimed these machines moved smoothly, silently, and with a level of control impossible for that time period. Similar mysteries appear in ancient history. Archaeological discoveries have revealed objects that seem far too precise or complex for the tools believed to be available when they were made. Perfectly symmetrical stone carvings, finely machined metal components, and intricate gears suggest a level of engineering that does not align with accepted timelines. Some ancient texts describe devices powered by unknown energy sources, hinting at knowledge that may have been lost or deliberately hidden. In more recent history, photographs and written accounts occasionally capture people using or wearing items that appear modern in settings from the past. Whether it is a device resembling a camera, a form of communication equipment, or clothing styles that seem decades ahead of their time, these anomalies continue to puzzle historians and researchers. While skeptics argue these are coincidences, misinterpretations, or hoaxes, the consistency of such reports across different cultures and time periods keeps the mystery alive and forces us to question whether our understanding of technological history is truly complete. Photographs and films are often considered reliable records of history, capturing moments exactly as they happened. Yet, some visual evidence from the past has raised unsettling questions about whether everyone in those images truly belonged to the time period they were recorded in. In several old photographs, individuals appear wearing clothing, accessories, or hairstyles that seem far more modern than the era around them. Items such as sunglasses, printed t-shirts, wristwatches, or handheld devices stand out sharply against crowds dressed in traditional historical attire, making these figures appear strangely out of place. One of the most discussed examples involves early to mid-20th century photographs where certain individuals seem to be holding objects that resemble modern cameras or communication devices. At the time these photos were taken, such technology either did not exist or was extremely rare and bulky, yet the objects in question appear compact and advanced. Similarly, old film footage has captured people seemingly talking into their hands, leading to speculation about early mobile-like devices, even though portable communication technology would not be developed until decades later. While historians often suggest these anomalies can be explained by experimental prototypes, misidentified objects, or fashion trends that briefly existed and were forgotten, these explanations do not satisfy everyone. The clarity of some images and the confidence with which these individuals appear to use the objects make the scenes difficult to dismiss entirely. As more historical footage is digitized and closely examined, these visual mysteries continue to attract attention, fueling theories that some people captured on film may not have been visitors of their own time. In some of the most puzzling time travel stories, the mystery does not rely on eyewitness accounts or blurry images, but on physical evidence, objects that can be touched, examined, and analyzed. Reports exist of individuals appearing with clothing, documents, and personal items that clearly belong to a different historical period. These materials often show authentic aging and craftsmanship consistent with their claimed era, making it difficult to label them as simple reproductions or costumes. One of the most cited cases involves people found wearing garments made from fabrics, stitching techniques, and styles that were common decades or even centuries earlier, yet completely absent from modern manufacturing. In some instances, the clothing shows were patterns consistent with long-term use, rather than theatrical use or recent fabrication. Along with clothing, personal belongings such as coins, letters, tickets, and identification papers have been discovered, all dated to a time that does not match the individual's presence in the modern world. Even more unsettling are artifacts discovered in locations where they should not exist at all. Tools, metallic objects, and mechanisms have been found embedded in geological layers that predate known human technology. Scientific analysis sometimes confirms the age of these surrounding materials, creating a direct conflict with established historical timelines. While critics argue that contamination, misdating, or human error could explain such discoveries, the accumulation of these anomalies continues to challenge the idea that history has unfolded in a perfectly linear and well-documented manner. Among the most intriguing time traveler stories are those involving individuals who demonstrate an uncanny ability to predict future financial events with extraordinary accuracy. These cases often center around people who suddenly appear in financial markets and begin making investments that defy logic, risk, and probability. They place large sums of money on trades that seasoned experts would normally avoid, yet repeatedly achieve massive profits as if they already know the outcomes in advance. In some reported incidents, these individuals correctly predict stock market crashes, sudden surges in specific companies, or economic events triggered by political or global developments that have not yet occurred. Their success is not limited to a single lucky guess, but extends across multiple trades over a short period of time, suggesting access to information far beyond insider knowledge. Financial analysts and authorities struggle to explain how such precision could be achieved without a legal access to future data. When questioned, some of these individuals reportedly claim to possess knowledge from the future, stating that they are aware of upcoming economic trends, technological breakthroughs, and global crises. Investigations into their backgrounds often reveal little to no traceable history, missing records or identities that seem to appear suddenly. As scrutiny increases and authorities attempt to uncover fraud or manipulation, these individuals sometimes vanish just as mysteriously as they arrived, leaving behind a trail of impossible predictions and unanswered questions across several ancient civilizations. Texts and manuscripts contain descriptions of machines and technologies that appear astonishingly advanced for their time. These writings often speak of flying vehicles, powerful weapons, and energy sources that do not align with the level of technology historians believe existed when the texts were written. In ancient Indian scriptures, for example, there are detailed references to Vimanas, aerial vehicles capable of moving vertically, traveling great distances, and even engaging in aerial combat. The descriptions include materials, propulsion methods, and control mechanisms that sound more mechanical than mythical. Similar accounts can be found in other cultures. Ancient Greek writings mention devices powered by unknown forces, while Chinese and Middle Eastern manuscripts reference mechanical beings, automated tools, and weapons capable of immense destruction. Some texts describe these machines with technical precision rather than poetic symbolism, listing components, operational instructions, and limitations, which has led some researchers to question whether these were purely symbolic stories or recollections of real technology. What deepens the mystery is the consistency of such descriptions across civilizations that had little or no contact with one another. The recurring themes of flight, advanced energy, and sophisticated machinery suggest either a shared symbolic language or a lost chapter of human history. While mainstream historians interpret these accounts as allegorical or exaggerated, others argue that they could represent advanced knowledge that existed long ago and was later forgotten, suppressed, or misunderstood by future generations with the rise of recorded media. Unexplained anomalies have become easier to spot and harder to ignore. Old films, newsreels, and early video recordings sometimes capture moments that seem to contradict the technological limits of their time. Viewers notice individuals behaving in ways that resemble modern habits, such as speaking into their hands, focusing on small rectangular objects, or interacting with devices that appear far too compact to exist during that era. These brief but striking moments spark intense debate about whether what is being seen is misunderstood technology or something far more unusual. In several famous cases, footage from the early 20th century shows people appearing to use handheld objects similar in size and shape to modern mobile phones. At the time, communication devices were large, wired, and stationary, making such behavior difficult to explain. Supporters of conventional explanations suggest these individuals were holding hearing aids, small radios, or other experimental devices. Yet historical records of such technology are either extremely rare or non-existent. The mystery deepens when similar anomalies appear across different recordings from different locations and decades. These repeated patterns suggest more than simple coincidence and encourage speculation about time travelers blending into crowds or momentarily revealing themselves on camera. As technology allows for clearer restoration and analysis of old media, these unexplained details continue to attract attention, reinforcing the idea that recorded history may contain hidden clues that challenge our understanding of time and technological progression. With the rise of the internet, stories of alleged time travelers have found a global platform, allowing claims to spread rapidly and reach millions. Online forums, message boards, and social media have hosted individuals who claim to be visitors from the future, offering detailed explanations about upcoming events, advanced technology, and changes in society. Unlike fictional stories, some of these claims are presented with technical language, scientific references, and logical structures that make them appear unusually convincing. One of the most notable aspects of these online accounts is the level of specificity they provide. Some claimants describe future political shifts, economic collapses, wars, and technological breakthroughs with precise timelines and detailed outcomes. In certain cases, a few of these predictions appear to align with real-world developments, fueling speculation that the source of this information could be more than imagination or coincidence. This partial accuracy makes it difficult to dismiss all such claims outright. At the same time, many predictions fail to materialize or occur in altered forms, leading to explanations involving alternate timelines, shifting realities, or human interference. These explanations further complicate efforts to determine whether such stories are elaborate hoaxes, creative storytelling, or something more extraordinary. The anonymity of the internet allows these figures to disappear as easily as they appear, leaving behind archive posts that continue to be analyzed and debated by believers and skeptics alike. Archaeology has long been a window into humanity's past, but some discoveries challenge the conventional timeline of technological progress. Across the world, researchers have unearthed artifacts that appear far more advanced than the tools and knowledge supposedly available at the time of their creation. These items, often called out-of-place artifacts, include perfectly machined metal objects, intricate gears, and devices with precise engineering that seem impossible to reproduce with the known technology of their era. For example, ancient mechanical devices like the Antikythera mechanism from Greece demonstrate a level of astronomical and mathematical sophistication that baffled scientists for decades. This device, which dates back over 2,000 years, could track celestial movements with remarkable accuracy, something that historians believed was only achievable in the modern era. Similarly, small, intricately carved objects in South America and Asia have been found that contain moving parts or geometries far beyond what was thought possible for their respective time periods. These artifacts not only suggest that some civilizations possessed knowledge long before it was officially recorded, but also raise questions about whether such technology might have been lost, deliberately hidden, or even brought from another time. The fact that multiple ancient cultures independently produced items of comparable complexity deepens the mystery, hinting at the possibility that knowledge, and perhaps even visitors from the future, could have influenced our historical record in ways we do not yet understand. Beyond stories of famous or mysterious individuals, Countless ordinary people across the globe report experiences that suggest they may have unintentionally traveled through time. These phenomena, often called time slips, involve moments when a person steps into a familiar location, an alleyway, a forest, a room in their home, and suddenly finds themselves in an era entirely different from their own. The environment appears altered in subtle or dramatic ways. Architecture is outdated. Vehicles from another century populate the streets. Clothing styles are unfamiliar, and sometimes entire social norms feel different. Unlike carefully orchestrated time travel experiments or fantastical accounts, these experiences are often accidental and fleeting. Witnesses frequently describe disorientation, intense sensory overload, and a feeling of detachment from their own reality. In some cases, individuals report interacting with people who speak an archaic language or dialects, handle objects that no longer exist, or recognize landmarks that have long since vanished. When they return to their original time, the world seems almost identical to how it was, yet the memory of the other era remains vivid and unforgettable. Researchers and parapsychologists have examined such cases, suggesting explanations ranging from psychological phenomena and altered states of consciousness to the possibility of parallel timelines briefly intersecting with our own. Skeptics argue that these are hallucinations or fabrications, yet the sheer number of consistent accounts from different cultures, continents, and centuries makes them difficult to dismiss entirely. These stories continue to intrigue scientists, historians, and ordinary people alike, hinting at the unsettling possibility that time is far more fluid than we have ever imagined, and that even the most mundane environments may conceal portals into the past or future. So, whether it's mysterious travelers appearing out of nowhere, ancient machines that defy history, or ordinary people slipping into other times without warning, the stories of time travel continue to captivate our imagination. They challenge our understanding of reality, blur the line between possibility and impossibility, and remind us that the universe may be far stranger than we think. Perhaps time is not a straight line, but a vast, twisting web, filled with moments we cannot yet comprehend. And maybe, just maybe, the next person to step through that door, or the next anomaly we discover, could change everything we thought we knew about the past, the present, and the future. The question isn't whether time travel exists. The real question is, how close are we to experiencing it ourselves?